Ever think about how much sleep affects what you learn each day?
Yeah, it's
Like for you right now, like maybe you're trying to pick up a new skill
right.
or learn something for work, and sleep could make or break that for you.
Totally.
Like grasping that concept versus it just totally going over your head.
It's huge.
It's a big deal, and that's why we're doing this deep dive today into the science of sleep
Yeah.
based on this great TED Talk by Matthew Walker, who's really a leader in this field.
Absolutely. He is like the sleep guru.
Yeah, so we're going to try to take his talk and extract, all the most important
The most important.
and maybe even surprising bits for you.
Yeah, the things you'll actually use.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to talk about how sleep impacts your brain, obviously, right? Like
Right.
thinking, learning, memory,
For sure.
but also the rest of your body, your reproductive system, your heart,
Yes, the whole system.
your immune system, even your genes.
It's pretty wild how far it reaches.
It is. And it's not all going to be like good things that happen when you sleep.
Right.
We're also going to talk about the kind of alarming consequences of not getting enough.
Because there's some scary ones.
There are. So be prepared to have your mind blown about sleep.
I think you will.
Okay, so let's get right into it. Let's start with the brain, because I think that's kind of the most relatable thing for people.
Like, we all use our brains, right?
We do every day. So, one of the things I thought was really fascinating from Walker's talk
Yeah.
is that sleep isn't just about what happens after you learn something new.
Right, like processing what you took in.
Right, like hitting save on those memories.
Right, exactly.
It turns out that sleep is also really important before you even try to learn anything.
It is.
Like it's setting the stage.
It's like priming the pumps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he uses this analogy of your brain being like a sponge,
Yeah, I like that one.
and a dry sponge is ready to soak up all this new information, right?
Of course.
But if that sponge is already saturated with water, you can't really get much more in.
It can't absorb anything else.
And that's what's happening when you're sleep deprived, basically.
You get that overflow.
Yeah, your brain is just not in a good state to learn.
It's like it's full.
Yeah, so they did this study
Oh, yeah, I know this one.
where they had two groups of people.
One well-rested, one not.
Yeah, one got a full 8 hours of sleep.
A nice full night.
Yeah, and the other group, they kept them up all night.
No caffeine, no naps.
No cheating.
They had to stay awake.
Yeah, and then the next day, they had both groups.
Learn something.
Yeah, try to learn a bunch of new facts while they were,
Hooked up to these scanners.
yeah, MRI scans.
To see what their brains were doing.
Exactly, and then they tested them later to see how much they remembered.
Right, to see who did better.
And the results were pretty crazy. Like the group that didn't sleep,
Yeah, they bombed it.
they did so much worse.
Like 40% worse.
40%, which is massive.
That's a huge chunk of information.
It's the difference between like passing and failing a test.
Absolutely.
So that really hits home for people, I think.
Yeah, it shows it's not just about feeling tired.
Right. There are real consequences.
Yeah, your brain just doesn't work as well.
So they look specifically at this part of the brain called the hippocampus.
Yeah, it's kind of like the memory center.
Right. It's like the first place where new information is processed.
Like the inbox for your memories.
Right. So what was happening in the hippocampus of the sleep-deprived people?
Well, what they saw was that there was way less activity.
Really?
Yeah, almost like it was shut down.
So they were trying to learn these new things, but their brains just weren't taking it in.
Yeah, I couldn't process it.
So it's almost like pulling an all-nighter to study is counterproductive?
Kind of, yeah. You're better off getting some sleep.
So what's going on in the brain when we do sleep that helps our memories stick?
Okay, so they hooked people up to these EEGs, right, to measure their brain waves.
Okay.
And they found these cool things happening during deep sleep.
What kind of things?
So there are these slow, deep brain waves
Okay.
and these little bursts of electrical activity called sleep spindles.
Sleep spindles, huh? What are those doing?
So basically, it's like a data transfer system.
Okay.
The deep sleep waves and the spindles work together
To do what?
to move memories from that inbox,
Mhm.
the hippocampus,
Right.
to other parts of the brain for long-term storage.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like backing up your computer.
So deep sleep isn't just about resting.
No, it's very active.
It's like your brain is organizing and filing everything away.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, let's switch gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about something that we all experience as we get older, which is
Yeah,
age-related decline in learning and memory.
happens to the best of us.
It does. So is there a connection between this and how our sleep changes as we age?
Absolutely. As we get older, we tend to get less deep sleep.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
It's just part of aging.
So does that affect our memory?
Well, research shows that there's a strong link between disrupted deep sleep
Okay.
and cognitive decline, memory problems
As we age.
as we age, and even in Alzheimer's disease.
That's a little scary.
It is, but the good news is,
There's good news.
yeah, unlike some other changes in the brain,
Like what?
like structural changes,
Okay.
sleep is something you can actually try to improve.
Right. You have some control over it.
You do. There are things you can do.
And you're even researching ways to directly boost deep sleep, right?
We're looking at using electrical brain stimulation.
What's that?
So it's basically delivering a very gentle electrical current to the brain.
Does it hurt?
No, you usually can't even feel it,
Okay.
but it can enhance those deep sleep brainwaves.
Really?
Yeah, in young adults, it's been shown to almost double the memory benefits of sleep.
Wow. So is the idea that you could use this to help older people
That's the hope, that we can use it to restore deep sleep in older adults,
or people with dementia?
right? And maybe even protect their memory function.
That's amazing. So we've talked a lot about the brain,
We have.
but sleep is also super important for the body.
It is, for every part of you.
Right. And we touched on the reproductive system earlier
Yeah, how sleep deprivation can lower testosterone in men.
and have similar effects on women's reproductive health.
Right, it's not just a guy thing.
Yeah. So sleep is important for a lot more than just thinking clearly.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about another big one, the cardiovascular system, your heart.
Yeah, your heart needs sleep too.
It does, and I always find the example of daylight saving time so interesting.
It's a fascinating natural experiment.
It really is because it affects so many people.
Millions of people.
Yeah, and the data is pretty clear, like in the spring.
When we lose an hour,
Yeah, when you lose an hour of sleep,
heart attack spike.
they go up by a lot,
A
right?
full 24% increase.
24%, that's a lot.
It's a huge jump.
And then in the fall, when we gain that hour back,
The opposite happens.
heart attacks go down.
By 21%.
That's incredible.
It really shows the impact of even just 1 hour.
It makes you think twice about staying up late.
It really does.
And it's not just heart attacks, right?
And no, there are similar trends for traffic accidents.
Really?
Yeah, and even suicide rates.
That's pretty disturbing.
It is. It shows how much sleep affects us.
Okay, let's move on to another crucial area, the immune system.
Yeah, your body's defense force.
Right, and you talked about these things called natural killer cells.
Yeah, they're like the secret agents of your immune system.
What do they do?
So they go around your body looking for dangerous stuff,
Like what?
like tumor cells, cells infected with viruses,
Oh, wow.
and they eliminate them.
So we want those cells to be active.
Absolutely. The more active, the better.
So what happens to them when we don't sleep enough
Okay, so in one study, they restricted people's sleep to just 4 hours.
for one night?
Yeah, just one night.
And
Their natural killer cell activity plummeted.
by how much?
70%.
70%, that's crazy.
It's a huge drop, basically putting them in a state of immune deficiency.
So just one night of bad sleep can weaken your immune system that much?
It can, yeah. And this is one reason
What?
why chronic sleep deprivation is linked to an increased risk of cancer.
Oh, no.
Yeah, including bowel, prostate, and breast cancer.
Wow, that's serious?
It is. And the World Health Organization has even classified night shift work
Okay.
as a probable carcinogen.
Because it disrupts your sleep.
Exactly. It messes up your sleep-wake cycles.
So that old saying, I'll sleep when I'm dead, doesn't really hold up.
Not at all. Actually, it's the opposite.
What do you mean?
Studies have shown that the less you sleep, the shorter your lifespan is likely to be.
Really?
Yeah, short sleep is linked to higher mortality from all causes.
So it's not just about feeling tired, it's about how long you live.
Exactly. Sleep is essential for life.
And if all that wasn't bad enough, you also mentioned that sleep deprivation affects our genes.
It does. It can actually change how your genes function.
How did they figure that out?
Well, they did this study where they restricted people's sleep to 6 hours a night
Okay.
for a whole week.
And what did they find?
That 711 genes had altered activity compared to when they got 8 hours of sleep.
711 genes, that's a lot.
It is. It shows how widespread the effects are.
And were these changes good or bad?
Well, it was a mix. About half of the genes increased their activity,
Okay.
and the other half decreased.
And did it matter what kinds of genes they were?
Yeah, so the genes that decreased their activity were mostly involved in the immune system.
So again, weakening the immune system.
Right, and the genes that increased their activity were linked to things like tumor growth, inflammation, stress, and heart disease.
So not good things.
Not good things at all.
So sleep deprivation basically throws your whole body out of whack.
It does. It's like a domino effect.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of scary stuff.
We have, but it's important to know the risks.
It is, so people can take action.
Exactly, and there are things you can do.
So for those of us who are now terrified and want to improve our sleep, what can we do?
Well, the first thing is to avoid the obvious sleep disruptors, like caffeine and alcohol before bed.
Right. That's common sense.
And if you have trouble sleeping at night, maybe skip the daytime naps.
Okay, so beyond that, what are your top tips for better sleep?
Okay, two main things. Number one, regularity.
Regularity.
Yeah, go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends.
Even on weekends.
Yes, consistency is key.
Okay, so your body gets into a rhythm.
Exactly. It helps regulate your sleep cycle.
Got it. What's the second tip?
Keep it cool.
What do you mean?
Your body needs to cool down to fall asleep.
Oh, interesting.
So keep your bedroom temperature around 65 degrees Fahrenheit.
So not too warm and cozy.
No, actually cooler is better for sleep.
Okay, I'll have to try that.
I think you'll notice a difference.
So to sum up, we've learned that sleep is not just about feeling rested.
It's so much more than that.
It's essential for our brains and our bodies.
For every cell in your body.
Right, from learning and memory to heart health and immunity.
And even your genes.
And the consequences of not getting enough sleep are pretty serious.
They are. It's not something to take lightly.
So what's the take-home message you want to leave people with?
Sleep is not a luxury. It's a necessity.
A necessity.
It's like food and water.
Yeah, we can't live without it.
We literally can't.
And yet we often treat it like it's optional.
We try to squeeze more out of our day.
At the expense of sleep.
Exactly. And it's hurting us.
Individually and as a society.
Absolutely.
So we need to reclaim our right to sleep.
To a full night's sleep.
Without feeling guilty.
Like we're lazy.
Because it's not lazy, it's essential.
It's self-care.
It's the best thing you can do for your health.
It really is. It's like a superpower.
Okay, before we wrap up, there's one more thing I wanted to touch on.
Okay.
A lot of people struggle with this.
I'm sure.
What do you do if you wake up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep?
Oh, yeah, that's common.
It's so frustrating.
It is. So here's the thing.
Okay.
You don't want to associate your bed with being awake.
That makes sense.
So if you're lying there for more than 20 minutes,
Okay.
get out of bed.
Really?
Yeah, go to another room.
And do what?
Do something relaxing, like reading a book.
But not on my phone.
No screens.
Okay.
Just something calming.
Okay.
Go back to bed when you feel sleepy.
So you're breaking that association.
Exactly. You're retraining your brain to connect bed with sleep.
Okay, that's really helpful.
I hope so.
So to wrap up our deep dive today, it's clear that sleep is absolutely crucial.
It affects every aspect of our lives.
It does, and it's something we need to prioritize.
We really do.
So as you go about your day today, I want you to think about how you're treating sleep.
Yeah. How much importance are you giving it?
Are you getting enough?
Are you making it a priority?
Because it could be the single most important thing you do for your health.
I truly believe that.
It's not just about feeling good. It's about living a longer, healthier life.
And functioning at your best.
Exactly. So make sleep a priority.
You won't regret it.
And if you want to learn more about this fascinating topic,
Yeah, dive deeper.
check out Matthew Walker's TED Talk. It's really eye-opening.
It is. And it could change your life.
So sleep well tonight, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Good night.
Good night.